Hello, everybody, and good morning. We're back for another episode of Mr. Reardon Reads Poetry. Today I'm going to be reading a poem from Dylan Thomas, a 20th century Welsh poet, somebody who's widely regarded as one of the greatest poets of the 20th century. We're going to read a poem called Fern Hill. This is one of my favorites of Dylan Thomas's, and Dylan Thomas is one of my favorite poets, so this does put it up pretty high on my list overall. Dylan Thomas is maybe a little more challenging to make sense of than some other poets that you might read. As a modernist, a 20th century poet, many of them fell into that category of modernists. He does a lot of things that are deeply symbolic. His language and syntax is a little more complex, but also there's just a whole lot to be unpacked and a lot of deep value to be found as you study his poetry. So I'd encourage you to do that at some point. This poem, Fern Hill, says a lot about childhood and innocence and the loss of childhood, but it also contains just some beautiful language about nature. And that's honestly why I chose it today. Not necessarily for those sort of deeper meanings, but just because it's a great poem for spring. Spring and summer in particular. And I was going to read it in a future episode, but it's just so nice out today when it was supposed to be a rainy day that I wanted something that reflected that. So without any further rambling from yours truly, here is Dylan Thomas's Fern Hill. My Dylan Thomas collection. There we go. Now, as I was young and easy under the apple boughs, about the Lilting house, and happy as the grass was green, the night above the dingle starry, time let me hail and climb, golden in the heydays of his eyes, and honored among wagons I was prince of the apple towns, and once below a time I lordly had the trees and leaves trail with daisies and barley down the rivers of the windfall light. And as I was green and carefree, famous among the barns, about the happy yard, and singing as the farm was home, in the sun that is young once only, time let me play and be, golden in the mercy of his means. And green and golden I was huntsman and herdsman. The calves sang to my horn, the foxes on the hills barked clear and cold, and the Sabbath rang slowly in the pebbles of the holy streams. All the sun long it was running. It was lovely. The hayfields high as the house, the tunes from the chimneys. It was air and playing, lovely and watery, and fire green as glass. And nightly, under the simple stars, as I rode to sleep, the owls were bearing the farm away. All the moon long I heard, blessed among stables, the nightjars flying with the ricks, and the horses flashing into the dark. And then to awake, and the farm like a wanderer white, with the dew come back, the cock on his shoulder. It was all shining. It was Adam and maiden. The sky gathered again, and the sun grew round that very day. So it must have been, after the birth of the simple light, in the first spinning place, the spellbound horses walking warm out of the whinnying green stable onto the fields of praise. And honored among foxes and pheasants, by the gay house under the new-made clouds, and happy as the heart was long. In the sun borne over and over, I ran my heedless ways. My wishes raced through the house-high hay, and nothing I cared at my sky-blue trades, that time allows in all his tuneful turning, so few and such morning songs, before the children green and golden follow him out of grace. Nothing I cared in the lamb-white days, that time would take me up to the swallow-thronged loft by the shadow of my hand, in the moon that is always rising. Nor that, riding to sleep, I should hear him fly with the high fields, and wake to the farm forever fled from the childless land. Oh, as I was young and easy in the mercy of his means, time held me green and dying, though I sang in my chains like the sea. That poem to me is many, many things, but one of those things is just this incredible breath of fresh air, this sense of peace, of a childhood playing outside, remembered, of days that are never here again, but in my memory have become ever more green and golden. So I would challenge you, if you can get outside on a beautiful day like today, or whenever you're watching this, if it's beautiful where you are and you have the opportunity to go outside and enjoy it, do that. Go become honored among barns, famous among the barns, I mean, and be prince of the apple towns. Have the trees and leaves trail with daisies and barley down the rivers of the windfall light. Have a wonderful day, everybody. I'm kind of running out of things to say here. I could talk forever, but I'm sort of rambling. So I'm just going to let you go. Get out there. Enjoy the world around you. Make memories. Enjoy the moments that you have. Dylan Thomas's Fern Hill.